हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरवनचारी, यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगामयी की, यमुनामयी की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी देवी की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। It's a bit windy today. Hare Krishna. My respectful obeisances to all the devotees who have assembled for today's session. Today we'll continue the glorious teachings of Bhishma Dev to his dear followers, admirers and grandchildren, the Pandavas. When Yudhisthira Maharaj was overwhelmed with guilt and repentance, when he was thinking that I have become the cause of the massacre of hundreds and thousands of soldiers on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, I have become so sinful. Even by performing hundreds of Ashwamedha Yajnas, I will not be able to come out of these sinful reactions. So he was feeling so sad, morose, guilty. And Krishna could not convince him, Yudhisthira Maharaj could not, Vyasadev could not convince him, Dhaumya could not convince him. So Krishna brought Yudhisthira Maharaj along with the other Pandavas all the way to the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where this exalted devotee Bhishma Dev was lying on a bed of arrows. Not a single limb of his body was moving. Only his tongue was moving. Seeing so many amazing personalities assembled there, Bhishma Dev welcomed all of them. Krishna was personally there. Krishnam cha tat prabhavagna. Knowing the greatness of Krishna, Bhishma Dev was welcoming Krishna, welcoming the Pandavas, welcoming all the Brahmarshis and Rajarshis and Devarshis along with their disciples. And then Bhishma started consoling and counseling Yudhisthira Maharaj. The first words came out of his mouth were, I hope you have memorized the shloka. Aho kashtamho nyayam yadyuyam dharmanandana जीवितं नार्हत क्लिष्टं विप्रधर्माच्युताश्रयः Aho kashtam, aho anyayam. You underwent so many difficulties. Kashtam. Anyayam. You faced so many injustices. Yad yuyam dharmanandana. Although you are the son of dharma personified, still you underwent so many difficulties and injustices. Ordinarily, it's very difficult to survive through all these difficulties, but still you survived. And the cause of your survival is your mood of taking shelter of three things, three shelters. Vipra, Dharma, Achyuta, Ashrayaha. You have taken shelter of the devotees of Krishna. You have taken shelter of the process of bhakti. And you have taken shelter of Krishna himself. And we elaborately described yesterday how devotees also suffer. In this material world, suffering is very common. We have three types of sufferings. What are they? Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika kleshas. The misery is caused by the mind and the body. The misery is caused by other living entities. And the misery is caused by supernatural powers. There is some difficulty. So even if one is a pure devotee, one cannot escape these miseries. But one can rise above these miseries. As we discussed in the first day, Tapatrayonmulanam. Tapatraya unmulanam. When you take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, and when you take shelter of the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam and try to put those teachings in practice, then you will not be affected by these tapatrayas. They exist. All the miseries, tribulations will continue to exist, but a devotee is one who is not overwhelmed by those miseries. A devotee is always fixed up in one's Krishna consciousness, always believes that Krishna is there through my ups and downs of life, and I don't have to worry. There is no need to worry. So when Lord Hari is there as my protector, what is the need of worry? We were discussing in the kids class yesterday. Krishna is called Hari because he steals butter, milk products, and he steals the difficulties of devotees. He also steals the sinful reactions of those who surrender unto him. As the Prachetas offer in their prayers, Namo Namaha Klesha Vinashanaya Nirupito Daraguna Vayaya Mano Vacho Vega Purojavaya Sarvaksha Margair Agatadhvane Namaha. Namo Namaha Klesha Vinashanaya. Krishna is known as one who destroys our kleshas. Why we have kleshas in life? Yesterday we discussed. You remember? From the prayers of Queen Kunti we discussed. What was that shloka? Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bhi shravana smaranarhani karishyan iti kechana. Because of avidya we have kama. And that kama or material desire in us induces us to perform karma. And that karma leads to klesha. And Krishna is known as Namo Namaha Klesha Vinashanaya. He is known to destroy all our kleshas. He is known to destroy all our difficulties. And the root of all these kleshas is avidya. Krishna destroys avidya by giving us Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam. So by teaching us Raja Vidya, which is the king of all knowledge, which is the Bhagavad Gita, he destroys our avidya. When avidya is destroyed, there is no kama, there is no karma, there is no klesha. And this vidya is not just some speculative, mundane knowledge. The real vidya is knowledge about Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, lila, spiritual knowledge. And how do we develop that vidya? How do we develop that knowledge of Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, lila? By practicing the process of bhakti yoga. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayada Haitukam. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha. When you perform Bhakti unto Lord Vasudeva, automatically we get Jnanam and Vairagyam. Knowledge and detachment are natural products of Vasudeva Bhakti. Let's worship the Lord. The Lord will give us all Vidya. He will destroy our ignorance. He will destroy our difficulties. Namo Namaha Klesha Vinashanaya Nirupito Daraguna Vayaya. Krishna is very magnanimous in destroying his difficulties. So, devotees don't undergo difficulties because of their karma. Here, Bhishma Dev is saying, Aho kashtam aho nyayam yadyuyam dharma nandana. You underwent so many kashtam, means difficulties and anyayam, injustices, not because of karma. Pandavas are devotees. Yesterday we discussed 3 types of people who suffer. Karmis suffer because of karma. Practicing devotees suffer because of aparats and anarthas for their purification. And pure devotees also suffer by the will of the Lord, by the arrangement of the Lord. How is that? I did not say without proof. Bhishma's teachings are the proof. So Bhishma spoke one shloka. Aho kashtam aho nyayam. You underwent so many difficulties. Generally people undergo difficulties because of their karma. But you did not undergo difficulties because of your karma. Because you are pure devotees, how can there be prarabdha karma for you? Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. No karma for Pandavas. Still they suffered. If karma is not the cause of suffering, what could be the cause of suffering? Bhishma gives the next argument. In the next sloka he says, Sarvam kalakritam manye bhavatam cha yadapriyam sapalo yadvashe loko vayo rivaghanavali. You know this shloka? Please recite. Sarvam kalakritam manye bhavatam cha yadapriyam sapalo yadvashe loko vayo rivaghanavali. Sarvam kalakritam manye. Karma is not the cause he established in the first shloka. Right? Aho kashtam aho anyayam is not because of your prarabdha karma. So he is giving next argument. Karma is not the cause of your suffering. Kala is the cause of your suffering. It seems like that, but he will destroy this argument also. Let's focus on this shloka. Sarvam means everything. Kala kritam means caused by kala. Kala means time. Sarvam kala kritam manye. Manye means I consider that the cause of your difficulties is kala. Kala means time factor. Krishna said, who is that time? Krishna only. Kalosmi loka kshayat krit pravriddha. Kalosmi, I am the time factor. What is my mission in the form of time? Loka kshayat krit pravriddha. I cause the deterioration of everything material in this world. That's my mission as time. So when Arjuna saw this very ferocious form, very intense form of time, he became very scared. He asked Krishna, who are you in this ghastly form, in this fierce form, intolerable heat? Aneka bahudara vaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami vishveshvara vishvarupa. So in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna displayed 2 forms to Arjuna. One is Vishvarupa, second is Kalarupa. Vishvarupa means he showed everything in the entire universe at one place to Arjuna. Kalarupa means he showed the effects of Kala, time, past, present and future. He showed all the effects of Kala to Arjuna. So seeing this Vishvarupa and Kalarupa, Arjuna was astonished. Actually he was scared. He said, close this darshan, I can't take this darshan anymore. Please close the curtain. Right? No more darshan. He only said, please show me that form that you have described. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, I am everything. I am all pervading. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam srimadhurjitam eva va tatta devava gachatvam mamatejom shambhavam. He spoke so many of his vibhutis and said, whatever beautiful, grand, excellent that you see in this world is all because of a spark of my splendor. So Krishna said it. Oh really? Can you please show me that form by which you pervade throughout the existence? said, okay, I'll show. Okay, special specs. Like when you are watching a 3D movie, they give you some special glasses, right? Like that, Arjuna is given a special glass, special spectacles. He had a higher vision. He was accustomed to seeing the beautiful form of Shyam Sundar with love and affection. Now, please keep that love and affection aside. Put these 3D glasses where you see the majesty, grandeur and opulence of the Lord. Then he saw the Vishwarupa and Kala Rupa. So, Kala is another form of the Lord. Kalosmi lokakshayat krit pravriddha. Now here Bhishma is saying, Sarvam kala kritam manye. Everything is happening because of Kala, time. Bhavatam cha yad apriyam, yad apriyam. Priya means that which is dear and very pleasant. Apriya means very unpleasant, not so dear, not so acceptable. Sarvam kalakritam manye bhavatam cha yad apriyam. All the unpleasant circumstances that you faced in your life are because of Kala, time factor, right? Sarvam kalakritam manye. Earlier he eliminated karma as the cause. He is now presenting another argument. Kala could be the cause. And what is the power of Kala? Sapalo yad vashe loko vayoriva ghanavali. Sapalo yad vashe loko. Loka means all the planets, planetary systems. Vashe loka means all the planets and planetary systems are under the control of time. Not just the planets and planetary systems. Sapalo. Even the rulers of these planets are also under the control of time. All the planets, along with the rulers, are always influenced by the time factor. So, similarly, you also are influenced. Sarvam kalakratam manye bhavatam chayadapriyam sapalo yad vashe loko vayor iva ghanavali. How helplessly all the planets and their rulers are controlled by time? Bhishma says, he gives a simple example. Vayoriva ghanavali, because of this vayu, wind, we are experiencing some wind now. Because of the movement of the winds, the clouds in the sky will get dispersed. A cloud cannot have that independence of staying at one place only. I like this place, I like these buildings, I like this garden, I like these people, let me stay here only. Can the cloud decide like that? No. Because of the movement of wind, the cloud has to move from one place to another place. Cloud has no independence. Sapalo yadvashe loko vayor iva ghanavalihi. Vayor iva ghanavali. Ghana means clouds. Ghanavali means hosts of clouds, means groups of clouds. Just like wind blows clouds away, time blows all the planets and even the rulers of the planets away. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, she is lamenting. What was the reason for her lamentation? She was thinking that 100 years back, one king came and claimed that this land is mine, this earth is mine. Ye mera hai. After few decades, another king came. He said he claimed that this land is mine. What happened to the previous king? He died. Now the third king came after a couple of years, couple of decades. He claimed that this earth is mine, this land is mine. What happened to the second king? He was killed. Then similarly, fourth king, fifth king, 10th king, like that, generation after generation, so many kings are coming and claiming, this land is mine, this land is mine. So some kings conquered other kings and took away their kingdom. And some kings naturally died and their descendants took away the kingdom. Right? For some reason or the other, no king who has claimed that this earth was his could rule that earth forever. So everybody in this world claims something to be one's own property. But how long can they be the proprietors? The supreme proprietor is Krishna. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gnatva mam shanti vrichyati. He is the bhokta. And not just bhokta, enjoyer, sarva loka maheshwaram, the supreme proprietor, the supreme owner of all the planets is Krishna. Not someone else. How long is our proprietorship over any property? Even if somebody acquires millions of dollars, or unlimited property, acres of land. At the time of death, they have to leave everything. Not a single penny comes with them. Who knows? A multimillionaire in one lifetime could become a beggar or a pauper in the next lifetime. And if they have committed some sinful activities, they may not even get a human birth. They may get a non-human birth. Who knows? You know the story of Avanti Brahman? He is a very wealthy personality. He had so much wealth, so many lands. But by the passage of time, all the wealth is taken away. He lost all wealth. His relatives left him. His family members left him. His friends left him. And he was like a pauper on the street. In such a desperate situation, he took shelter of Krishna. Okay. When Krishna sees that money is a distraction in our devotional service, he will take away that money. He'll make a millionaire into a beggar. But if Krishna feels that despite having so much money, my devotees will never give up their path of bhakti, if Krishna feels confident like that, Krishna will bestow unlimited wealth. Even if so much wealth is there with him, he has self-control. He's never proud of that wealth. Right? So when Krishna feels confident, he will allow a devotee to enjoy wealth. But if Krishna feels little concerned that, oh, this devotee may be distracted in bhakti, if there is so much wealth, Krishna will take away that wealth. But whether in distress or happiness, whether in richness or poorness, devotees are those people who always surrender to Krishna. So here, our Bhishma is saying, Sarvam kalakritam manye, everything in this world is being orchestrated by time, and looks like whatever unpleasant circumstances you have faced in your life, in this current life, are a product of time factor. So Bhishma is trying to establish the second cause of their suffering. First cause is karma, which is eliminated, ruled out. Second cause is kala, he is going to rule it out also now. We will come to the next sloka. But here, in this context, let me make another point, important point. Time affects all common people, but time does not affect devotees. Got it? Yesterday we discussed how karma affects karmis, but karma doesn't affect bhaktas. Karma doesn't affect devotees. Right? You understood that yesterday's point? But today we are making another point. Time affects everybody, but time does not affect a devotee. Now, how can you say that? If it is 6 p.m., whether it's a devotee or not a devotee, 6 p.m. is 6 p.m. for everybody. Right? And devotee also will get white hairs. Devotee will also have wrinkles on the face. Devotee also becomes old. Devotee also becomes sick. How can you say that time doesn't affect a devotee? Yes, I'm not saying this, by the way. Bhagavatam is saying this. Bhagavatam says that with the rising and setting of sun, Ayur harati vaipumsam udyannastam chayannasau tasyarte yat kshano nita uttama shloka vartaya. With the rising and setting of sun, a materialistic person's one day is cut. Right? In his lifetime, he loses one day. Ayur harati vaipumsa means the ayu, the lifespan of a materialistic person is cut down by one day by the passage of time, by the rising and setting of sun. However, in the case of devotee who is accustomed to hearing the glories of Krishna, his ayu is not coming down in one sense. How can we say like that? The answer is like this. With the passage, as the days are passing, materialistic people are coming one day closer to death. But a devotee is coming one day closer to Krishna. Right? For a materialistic person, death means leaving home, leaving relatives. But for a devotee, death means entering our eternal home, meeting our eternal spiritual relatives and our supreme protector Krishna. That's what death means in the case of a devotee. Thus, he is not losing ayu. This ayu is anyways material. But he is coming closer to Krishna. His kala affects devotees. Karma also may affect, but that effect is on a different plane only. completely, right? So, Kala is not the cause of the suffering of Pandavas. Sarvam Kala Kritam Manye, he said. But he thought, no, Kala is not the cause of your suffering. Then who is the cause? Then he adds one very important and interesting perspective here. You know what he says? He says, Yatra dharma suto raja gada panirvrkodaraha Krishnostrigandivam chapam suhrut krishnastato vipat. You can also say, Yatra dharma suto raja gada panirvrkodaraha Krishnostrigandivam chapam suhrut krishnastato vipat. This is the way of this world. This is how this material world functions. Please understand this fact. Yatra dharma suto raja. So, Pandavas are headed by Yudhisthira Maharaj, who is also called Dharmaraj. He is Dharma Suta, son of Yamadharmaraj. He is a personification of religion, personification of dharma, personification of all virtues and righteousness. Yatra dharma suto rajan. Second, Gadapanir Vrikodaraha. This Gadapani, the most powerful fighter, Bhima, is there. Bhima single-handedly killed all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. Bhima killed Hidimbasur. Bhima killed Bakasur. Bhima killed Jarasandha. Such a powerful Bhima is there. Yatra dharma suto raja Gadapanir Vrikodaraha. Third, Krishnostri Gandivam chapam. This Krishna word refers to Arjuna. He has this Gandiva bow. And how many military certificates did Arjuna had? He is the favorite student of Guru Dronacharya. Dronacharya revealed so many military secrets and secrets of archery to Arjuna more than what he revealed to his son Aswathama. That's how Arjuna is dear to Dronacharya. And Arjuna impressed even Lord Shiva and received Pasupatastra. Arjuna even impressed Indra and went to Indralok and sat on Indra's asan. And Arjuna is also so handsome. Urvasi came and said, Arjuna, I want to enjoy with you. Arjuna said, my dear mother, I cannot do this. Such a self-controlled, mind-controlled, sense-controlled, mature devotee Arjuna. Right? He has all military strength. He has also spiritual strength. So spiritually and materially, Pandavas are equipped with all resources. Yatra dharma suto raja gadapanir vrikodaraha Krishnostri gandivam chapam. 3 points. But these 3 are not the real strength of Pandavas. You know what is the real strength of Pandavas? Suhrut Krishna. Krishna is their Suhrut. Krishna is their dear friend. Very close friend. If Krishna is directly your friend, what do you lack in life? You have everything in life, right? Suhrut Krishna. So, spiritually and materially, they are equipped with all great resources. On top of it, Krishna is their advisor. Krishna is their dearest friend, closest companion, cousin, brother. Still, Tato Vipat. Still they underwent difficulties. What does it mean? Kala is not the cause. Karma is not the cause. Krishna is the cause. So Krishna is the cause of their difficulties. How can Krishna be the cause of difficulties? Even if Krishna is personally there as their well-wisher, he is not destroying their difficulties. He is allowing them to undergo so many difficulties. What does it mean? Krishna sanctioned all these difficulties. It is only by Krishna's sanction that Pandavas are undergoing difficulties. Even if Krishna is your personal friend, companion, cousin, even if you have 6 loving exchanges with Krishna, you know 6 loving exchanges, what are they? Dadati pratigrhanati guhyamakhyati pruchhati bhungte bhojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. So giving and taking gifts and feeding prasad, taking prasad and sharing your hearts, these are all 6 loving exchanges between devotees. But Pandavas were not having loving exchanges only with other devotees. Pandavas were directly having 6 loving exchanges with Krishna himself. Who says this? Sutta Goswami says. Krishna said, very beautiful point. Sutta Goswami said, Darshana sparsha samlapa shayanasana bhojanaihi. Darshana, All the Pandavas are having regular darshan of Krishna. Sparsha, they are touching Krishna. Did you ever touch Krishna? You must have touched Krishna's deity. Right? But they were touching Krishna, embracing Krishna. Darshana, sparsha, samlapa, they are conversing with Krishna. Shayana, they are sleeping with Krishna. Asana, they are sitting with Krishna. Bhojane, they are eating with Krishna. 6 loving exchanges. Directly with Krishna. Personal interactions with Krishna. Darshana, sparsha, samlapa, shayana, asana, bhojanaihi. Yes, Prabhu, you want to say something? Okay. Prabhuji wants shloka number also. Nectar of Instruction 4. Darshana Sparsha Samlapa, that comes somewhere in the first canto of Bhagavatam, 10th chapter. You can see 11, 12, 13, 14 in that series. So Darshana Sparsha Samlapa Shayanasana Bhojanehi. All the Pandavas are directly having 6 loving exchanges with Krishna. Still, Tato Vipat, they underwent so many difficulties. How is this possible? How can Krishna sanction difficulties in the lives of his devotees? We discussed it yesterday briefly. Let's go deep today. In the 16th shloka of this chapter, Bhishma is saying. In the 15th shloka he said, Yatra dharma suto raja gadapanir vrkodaraha. In the 16th shloka he is saying that Nahyasya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhitsitam yadvijignasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Recite. Nahyasya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhitsitam yadvijignasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Nahyasya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhitsitam. Krishna's plans cannot be understood. Now we just said some time back, how can Krishna sanction difficulties in the lives of his devotees? How can Krishna even approve that? We can answer it in multiple ways, but Bhishma's way of answering is, you can't understand. You can't understand why Krishna arranges difficulties for devotees. We can understand to some degree, but you cannot understand completely. Right? Understanding Krishna's heart completely is not so easy. Yesterday we understood to some degree. We said that Krishna wanted to announce the faith levels of his devotees to the whole world. Krishna wanted to declare that even if I subject my devotees to hundreds and thousands of tribulations, they will never lose their faith in me. So, pure devotees are undergoing suffering. Second, if there are a series of pleasant circumstances, life may become a little monotonous. If there is some difficulty, and after difficulty, when there is some pleasant circumstance, then life will be more exciting. Love of Krishna is experienced in 2 ways. You know what are they? Vipralambha and Sambhoga. Vipralambha means the pain of separation. Sambhoga means the joy of union. So love of Krishna is experienced by joyfully meeting him and painfully getting separated from him. Therefore, whether it is in Vrindavan or Hastinapur or Dwaraka or wherever, Krishna creates some difficulties in the lives of devotees. And actual difficulties are not like losing money, property, this and that. The real difficulty in the life of a devotee is separation from Krishna. Right? The real difficulty in the life of a devotee is separation from Krishna. Krishna creates the difficulty. Even in the life of gopis, Krishna creates this separation. Right? So, why Krishna creates that separation? Because when you are separated from the beloved, when you are away from someone whom you love so much, that separation will intensify your remembrance of the devotee, remembrance of that beloved personality, Lord or devotee. So when you are very close to each other, there is a special relish of love between the lover and the beloved. But when they are away from each other, that's a different flavor of love and relish. You are constantly missing that person. Your remembrance of that person increases more and more. So to create this situation of intensified loving remembrance, Krishna personally causes separation between himself and his devotees. Got it? Therefore, a devotee suffers. That's why Mother Kunti is saying, Vipadaha santutaha shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yasyata punarbhava darshanam. Whenever we are experiencing some difficulties, Krishna, you came and gave us darshan. Thank you so much. So, that situation of separation is paving a way to another situation of union with you, meeting with you. So, if a calamity is giving me an opportunity to meet with Krishna, let that calamity come again and again. Calamity is not the calamity there. The real calamity in the heart of a devotee is separation from Krishna. A devotee cannot tolerate separation from Krishna. Devotee can tolerate if the house is set on fire. Devotee can tolerate if the devotee is poisoned. Devotee can tolerate if their property is taken away and they are sent to the forest. All this they can tolerate, but they cannot tolerate separation from Krishna. That's the real difficulty. So whenever there is difficulty, these devotees, Pandavas, remember Krishna. Kunti Mata remembers Krishna. Krishna immediately will come. My dear aunt, why did you remember me? Oh, I have this difficulty. Oh, come, I'll remove this. Oh, you are removing this? No, let it be there, so that you can be here. So devotee wants to see Krishna always. In that anticipation of meeting with Krishna, a devotee experiences special rasa. Now, how does the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam begin? How does the Krishna book begin? Mother Earth was overburdened by so many military forces. She is feeling excruciating pain. She took the form of a cow and she went to Lord Brahma. And Brahma took Mother Earth and all the Devatas all the way to Kshirosagar, the milk ocean. And there he offered Purusha Sukta prayers. Sahasrasirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva Atyatishta Dashangulam Purusha Evedagum Sarvam Yadbhutam Yascha Bhavyam. In this way, our Brahma is offering prayers, Purusha Sukta prayers. Then he gets a message, wireless message. Vishnu is not visible, but Vishnu sends a message. Very soon Krishna is going to descend on earth planet in the Yadu dynasty. All of you Devatas also take different positions, different roles in the Yadu dynasty. He gets a message. And eventually Krishna descends on earth planet. And he relieves the burden of Mother Earth. Why Krishna has to descend on the earth planet to relieve her burden? Can't he do that while sitting in Vaikuntha? Can't he do that while sitting in Goloka? Huh? Just think about it. Simple logic. Right? So Krishna could have relieved the difficulties of Mother Earth by destroying all the demons without even taking any human form. He need not descend as a human, as Ramachandra or Krishna or any other form on this planet. He need not do it. Right? He could have killed Ravana or Kumbhakarna or Aghasur, Bakasur, Vatsasur, Vyomasur, Keshi, Kamsa, Kuvalaya Pida, Chanura, Mushtika, Shala, Toshala, Kota. He could have killed all these demons like this. Why he has to come as a human child here and he has to fight with them for hours together with some demons and then kill and then relieve the burden of the earth one by one? Like he took 125 years to relieve the burden of earth. Right? Finally, he relieved the burden of earth in the Kurukshetra war through his devotees. Why he took a century? He could have done it in 100 minutes or 100 seconds. Why he took 100 years? You may have this question. But that's how rasa exchange is. So whenever devotees are facing difficulties, please understand the devotee is having a special rasa with Krishna. Mother Earth becomes desperate and she is dependent on the Lord. And she goes and offers prayers with great intensity. And the Lord comes to descend, comes on the earth and he takes for some human form and performs very enchanting pastimes. And then he leaves and Mother Earth is filled with the memories of the Lord. And when Krishna departs from this world, Mother Earth is not thinking that, oh, Krishna went away. She's not thinking that, oh, thanks Krishna, you have come and relieved me of my burden. Thank you very much. Bye bye. He's not saying that. Krishna could have stayed for a longer time. For Krishna to stay for a longer time, if more difficulties are required, I don't mind. That's her mood. Right? So devotees are always looking for Darshan of Krishna, association of Krishna, not exactly relieving some material difficulties. Material difficulties anyway is temporary. Agama apayino anityaha. That doesn't bother them. And they don't want Krishna only to relieve them from this burden, from the difficulty. That's not their only outlook. That Krishna doesn't have anything else to do or what? Except relieving your difficulty, financial problems and health problems, this problem, that problem. He has many things to do. And devotees are interested in that spiritual pastimes of Krishna. Not just relief from material miseries. Liberation from material miseries. Liberation from material miseries, liberation from the cycle of birth and death are not at all aspirations of a devotee. They want to serve Krishna. They want association of Krishna. They want to see Krishna. They want to witness Krishna's pastimes. They want to assist in Krishna's pastimes. That's what they want. Therefore, relief from miseries is a very, very basic way of connecting with the Lord. That's what Krishna said. Arto jignasur artharthi gnani cha bharatarshabha. Artha bhakta is not a Shuddha bhakta. He's a relief seeker. Mandir gaya to shanti milta hai. Some people just want relief. That's why they go to the temple. No other reason. And some people want money. Mandir gaya, then I will just break a coconut, offer some bananas and do some 4 pradikshanas or 11 pradikshanas. I will get so much money, I will get success in my life, this and that. That's what people want. They have a lot of material expectations, but devotee doesn't expect all this stuff from Krishna. They want association of Krishna. Difficulty is insignificant. Let's not worry so much about difficulties. They come and go. Agama apayino anitya. Just tolerate. Consider them as results of some past misdeeds or offenses or aparadhas that we have committed, and just endure them and experience the reaction and focus on bhakti. That's what a devotee does. Tatenu kampam sasamikshamano bhunjana eva atmakritam vipakam. Mother Earth, when Krishna departed from this world, you know what she was saying? Kavasaheta viraham purushottamasya premavalokaruchirasmita valgu jalpaihi sthiryam samanamaharan madhumaninam romotsavo mamayadanghrivitankitaya. Kavasaheta viraham purushottamasya. Who can ever tolerate the pangs of separation from Purushottama Krishna? Premavaloka ruchirasmita valgu jalpaihi. Premavaloka means Krishna's loving glances. Ruchirasmita means his pleasant smiles. Valgu jalpaihi means his hearty conversations. Premavaloka ruchirasmita valgu jalpaihi. Sthiryam samanamaharan madhumaninina. Mother Earth is remembering all these sweet exchanges that Krishna had with his sweethearts like Satyabhama and many other devotees, and she's recollecting, oh, when Krishna was there on my surface, he was doing all these loving pastimes. Now I'm missing them. Romotsava mama yadang grivitankitaya. Romotsava. Roma means hairs. Right? What are Mother Earth's hairs? The hairs on Mother Earth are these green grasses, green plants. So when Krishna was traversing on my surface, my hairs were standing on end. Means Mother Earth was lush green. She's very prosperous. She was flourishing. Now I'm missing Krishna. She was thinking like that. Mother Earth was not lamenting, oh, Krishna reduced my burden. No, my burden may increase. No, that's not her point. I'm missing Krishna. Kava saheta viraham purushottamasya. I'm unable to tolerate this viraha from Krishna. Devotees want service of Krishna and association of Krishna, not just relief from some difficulties. Yes, that is there, but it's so secondary, so simple. That's not the main reason. Right? So, sometimes Krishna's plans may be understood by people, but sometimes Krishna's plans are not so easily understandable. To some degree we understand whatever Krishna does is only for our welfare. That much you understand. Whether you understand what he did, why he did, when he did or not, you understand that whatever he did at whatever time is only for my welfare, for my purification. Right? So Krishna is our well-wisher. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhurdam sarva bhutanam. Just because Krishna is your suhrut, that does not mean you will not have any difficulties in life. Yatra dharmasuto raja gadapanir krishnostri gandivam chapam suhrut krishnaha tato vipat. Krishna may be your suhrut, but you will definitely have vipatti in your life. Destroying your vipatti is not the only job of Krishna. Krishna has to play flute. He has to perform Rasa Leela. He has to steal butter. He has to irritate and bother Mother Yashoda with his naughty pranks as a small child. He has so many things to do. And we also have so many things to do in participating in Krishna's pastimes. If you are constantly focusing on how to relieve my difficulty only, when will we participate, when will we assist Krishna in his pastimes? Right? So we need to come out of this material consciousness and enter spiritual consciousness. For a devotee, thoughts of material distress or material happiness are almost extinct. If we still have those thoughts, we are not yet devotees. We need to understand this, right? So when are we ready for spiritual plane? Only when we are oblivious to material happiness and distress. I am not saying this. Krishna is saying this. You know, second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 15th shloka. What did Krishna say? Yam hi navyathayantyete purusham purusharshabha sama dukkha sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. Only when you perceive happiness and distress as equal. Happiness and distress are not equal, but you should perceive them equal. Then you are eligible for liberation. What is this? We should see happiness and distress as equal. Loss and gain are equal. Victory and defeat equal. Success and failure equal. Then you are ready for liberation. What kind of calculation is this? You may question like that. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sitoshna sukhadukkeshu tatha manapamanayohu. Sita and Ushna means heat and cold experienced on the bodily plane. Sukha and Dukkha, happiness and distress experienced on the mental plane. Man and Apman, honor and dishonor experienced on the egoistic plane. See all of them equally. What is the logic behind seeing these two opposite dualities equal? Because they are temporary, they are material, ultimately speaking, they are of no relevance to your life. Right? Once I was caught in a heavy traffic jam. I was about to miss my flight. Why? There is a red light on the street, on the lane, and you can't move ahead. Car was stuck for a long time. Somehow, I took a local train and managed to reach the airport. I boarded the airplane and looked into the window. Then I saw cars, trains. When I have seen all the cars and trains and big buildings like this, looking very tiny from that altitude. On the road there were some red signals, but my flight did not stop. On the road there were some green signals. My flight did not get excited. When I was traveling on the road, the green signal gave me great happiness and the red signal gave me a lot of distress. But when I was in the airplane, the red signal did not give me any distress and the green signal is of no relevance to me. Why? Because I am in a different plane. Similarly, when we raise our consciousness to spiritual plane, the red signals of distresses on the material plane and the green signals of happinesses on the material plane are of no relevance to us. That is the yoga plane. This is called Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. This Samatvam is called yoga. Yoga means linking our consciousness with the Supreme. When you are a yogi, when you are a bhakti yogi, you link your consciousness with Krishna through love, through affection, through devotion. When you are able to link that, material happiness and material distress are of no relevance to us. Somebody honors us, somebody dishonors us. Somebody embraces us, somebody ignores us. And we experience happiness, sometimes distress. All these are material stuff. If you are still getting affected by it, we are not ready for spiritual plane, as simple as that. But if we are actually on the spiritual plane, we are unaffected by happiness and distress and success and failure and victory and defeat. Whether we are able to understand all the dynamics of this life or not, if we keep faith in Krishna and if we accept Krishna's plans the way they manifest in our lives, then we are ready for spiritual plane and we can embrace Krishna's service, bhakti, right? So as long as we are getting overwhelmed by happiness and distress on a material plane, we are not yet ready for spiritual life. Of course, there is a transition phase, we are work in progress. Not that we become totally oblivious to all happiness and distress in the material plane overnight. It takes some time, right? So, to conclude, our Bhishma said, Nahi yasya karhi chitrajan puman veda vidhitsitam yadvijignasa yayukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Even great philosophers and scholars and pandits also find it very difficult to understand Krishna's plans. And in their attempts to understand Krishna's plans, even those philosophers also become confused and bewildered and exhausted. Krishna himself says, Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam namaharshayah ahamadirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam namaharshayah. Even great devatas and maharshis also cannot understand me. Why? I am the origin of all these devatas and maharshis. All the sages and the devatas are born out of me. How can they understand me? So whether you understand Krishna's plans or not, please understand this much. He is my well-wisher. Whatever he arranges in my life is for my welfare. That which we understand, that is sufficient. So, my dear Yudhisthira Maharaj, whether you understand Krishna's plans completely or not, just accept it, execute it. That's the final instruction. And who can understand the plans of the Lord? Only Mahajans can understand completely or to a significant extent. And by Bhakti we can also understand. There is a beautiful shloka in the first canto, 3rd chapter. I think it is 38th shloka. Saveda dhatuh padavim parasya duranta viryasya rathanga panehe yoma yaya santatayana vritya bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. You can also recite Saveda dhatuh padavim parasya duranta viryasya rathanga panehe yo mayaya santatayana vritya bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. Sutta Goswami is saying, Saveda dhatuhu padavim parasya. Who can understand the unsurpassable glories of that Supreme Lord? And what is the quality of the Lord? Duranta viryasya rathanga pane. That Lord who holds a rathanga. Rathanga means the chariot wheel. Ratha means chariot. Anga means a part of the chariot. And here it refers to the wheel. Rathanga pane means one who holds a chariot wheel in his hand. That is Krishna. So, Duranta Viryasya Rathangapane, who can understand the unsurpassable glories of the Rathangapani Krishna? The answer is given in the 3rd line. Very important. You can memorize this shloka. If it is difficult for you to learn this shloka, just learn the 3rd line. First, Yo Amayaya. Amayaya means without any reservations. Second, Santataya means without any interruptions, no breaks. Anuvritya means with a favorable intention. Somewhat similar to Anyabhilashta Sunyam Shloka. So one who renders service to Krishna without any reservations, without any interruptions, and with a favorable intention, such people can easily understand the Lord. If you are not understanding Krishna's plans, please understand that we don't have sufficient favorable attitude towards Krishna. Our service to Krishna is not very consistent. Or we still have some reservations to serve Krishna. That's why we are unable to understand. Some people expect to understand everything that Krishna said, to understand everything that is there in Bhagavatam. Please understand that Bhagavatam is not understood just by your intelligence, just by your research, just by your scholarship. Bhagavatam knowledge is not a product of your research, it's a product of revelation. Krishna will reveal that knowledge to you in proportion to your service attitude, in proportion to your favorable intentions in bhakti. without favorable intentions, without consistent practice of bhakti, without dedication and without surrender, we cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the heart of Krishna, which is Krishna. You may be very intelligent, you may be scholarly from a material perspective, you know Sanskrit grammar also probably, but that is not a qualification. That's neither a qualification nor a disqualification to understand Krishna. Yad vijignasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Even great pandits and scholars also get bewildered in their attempts to understand Krishna. How can we expect to understand Krishna with just by our intellectual gymnastics with very poor and inconsistent sadhana, dozing off in their japa? Not possible. Not that possible. So, whether you understand Krishna, Krishna's plans and Krishna Tattva completely or not, just understand this much: Krishna is my well-wisher. He loves me more than anyone else loves me in this entire creation. And in my purest state of consciousness, I love Krishna more than anyone else. This much we need to understand. This is the realization that we need to get. Therefore, Bhishma concludes in the last shloka. Tasmadidam daivatantram. This is the concluding shloka of that section where Bhishma is consoling our Yudhisthira Maharaj. Bhishma is consoling Yudhisthira Maharaj, right? The counseling session is going to end now. From the next shloka, we have glorification section. Stuti actually begins from the next shloka. So Bhishma does his stuti of Krishna in two phases. One phase is general glorification of Krishna. Then again, Bhishma gets into giving some important teachings to Yudhisthira Maharaj. Dana dharma, raja dharma, stri dharma, this dharma, that dharma, all these dharmas he gives. Then he starts another set of stuti that we are going to discuss in the next 3-4 days. Right? So now concluding shloka of his counseling session. Tasmadidam daivatantram vyavasya bharatarshabha tasyanu natha natha pahi prajah prabho. Tasmad idam daivatantram. This is daivatantra. Means it's an arrangement of the Lord. It's planned by the Lord. You don't understand. Kurukshetra battle is planned by the Lord. It is daivatantram. And you participating in this war and killing hundreds and thousands of lakhs of soldiers on the battlefield of Kurukshetra is also planned by the Lord. You should not worry so much about it. Tasmadidam daivatantram. He says simply, Natha pahi prajah prabhu. Oh Prabhu, Yudhisthira Maharaj is not my grandson now. He is Prabhu. He is the master of Hastinapur kingdom. So far the Prabhu is, who is that Prabhu? Dhritarashtra Prabhu. Now he is not Prabhu. Yudhisthira Maharaj is Prabhu. Better Prabhu has come here. Oh my dear Prabhu, Natha pahi prajah Prabhu. Please protect your citizens. Citizens are waiting for you. So far the citizens of Hastinapur were tormented by Duryodhan, Dushyasan, Karna, Shakuni, supported by this blind king Dhritarashtra. Now that government is gone. New government has come. Yudhisthira Maharaj government. This is Dharma government. Dharma government. And how does Yudhisthira Maharaj rule? Nishamya bhishmoktam atha chutoktam. Yudhisthira Maharaj rules his citizens in accordance with the teachings of Bhishma and Achyuta. Whatever Bhishma is going to teach Yudhisthira Maharaj now, and whatever Krishna is going to teach, and whatever Krishna had taught earlier, based on those principles, coming from a Mahajan, Bhishma and the Supreme Lord Krishna directly, Bhishma will rule. Yudhisthira Maharaj will rule. So, a king or a leader is supposed to uphold the principles of great saints and Krishna. And that's how they need to lead people. So, with this, Yudhisthira Maharaj, Bhishma concludes consoling Yudhisthira Maharaj and preparing him for his responsibility of ruling the kingdom. Now Bhishma diverts his attention towards Krishna and starts glorifying Krishna. Of course, this glorification of Krishna also is a part of Bhishma's talk to Yudhisthira Maharaj. Bhishma is speaking to Yudhisthira only, but here he is going to speak about Krishna to Yudhisthira Maharaj. But in the next set of stuti that we are going to discuss maybe tomorrow, there Bhishma directly talks to Krishna only. It's not in third person. It's directly he speaks to him. He completely withdraws his mind from all other engagements and focuses only on Krishna. Now let's see what Bhishma had to say about Krishna to Yudhisthira Maharaj. He says, Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Gudhascharati Vrishnishu. Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat. This personality wearing yellow dhoti and with a bluish complexion, with such a sweet smile on his face, you know who is he? Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat. He is Sakshat Bhagavan. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is not an ordinary personality. Don't misunderstand him. Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat. Krishna looks so beautiful. Seeing his charming beauty and very approachable demeanor, people will just think that, oh, he's an ordinary personality or a friend. Sucharu Vaktra Mandalam Sukarna Ratna Kundalam Sucharchitanga Chandanam Namami Nandanandanam. Sucharu Vaktra Mandalam. So Krishna's face is so charu, beautiful. Sukarna Ratna Kundalam. He wears very beautiful earrings. Sucharchitanga Chandanam Namami Nandanandanam. His body is nicely smeared with sandalwood pulp, and that is Nandanandana Krishna. So where Krishna is looking very sweet, and people will forget that he is God, especially in Vrindavan. Not only Krishna's godhood is not acknowledged in Vrindavan, sometimes even outside Vrindavan also, either in Dwaraka or Mathura or Hastinapur, his intimate associates tend to believe that Krishna is their associate, Krishna is their relative, Krishna is their cousin, Krishna is their family member, Krishna is their brother or son or friend or whatever, chariot driver, etc. They forget that he is God. But Bhishma Dev is reminding Yudhisthira Maharaj, Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat, don't forget that he is Bhagavan. In Damodar Leela, Krishna kept aside his godhood. And he agreed to be bound by Mother Yashoda's rope around his belly. Right? So, Satyavrata Muni wrote a beautiful song on Damodar Ashtakam, on Damodar Leela, offering his prayers to Damodar. Right in the beginning, Satyavrata Muni reminds us, this boy is not just an ordinary naughty child. He is Krishna himself. He is the Supreme Lord. He is Ishvara. He says, Namam Ishwaram Satchidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam. Namami Ishwaram Satchidananda Rupam. He is Ishvara directly. Satchidananda Rupa. Although he is crying, Rudantam Muhurnetra Igmam Rijantam, all this crying, don't misunderstand him. He is Satchidananda Rupa only. If he is Ananda Rupa, Satchidananda Rupa, if he is Sat, why is he speaking lies? If he is Ananda, why is he crying? Why is he having tears in his eyes? With both his ears, both his eyes. Even if he is crying, he is Satchidananda. Even if he is lying, he is Satchidananda. He is absolute truth. He is Paramasatyam. He is reminding us. Because the typical nature of a conditioned soul in this world is to take even Krishna for granted. Whenever the Lord appears in a human form in this world, people take him for granted. Hey, Krishna, I know him. He's not so great. People find fault with Krishna. People criticize Krishna. People claim that Krishna has done adharma by inspiring Bhima to hit the thigh of Duryodhan. It is not dharma. What is dharma? Dharmam to sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Whatever the Lord says, whatever the Lord does is dharma. How can you say the Lord is not following dharma? Whatever he does is dharma. Whatever he does, whether it fits into your logic or not, whether it aligns with your rational thinking or not, whatever Krishna does is dharma. Right? Dharmam to sakshat bhagavat pranitam. People don't understand this. Right? So they have to be reminded. And here is Bhishma reminding the Pandavas. Not that Pandavas took Krishna for granted, but still, sometimes they may just get carried away with their family relationship and they may forget that Krishna is God. When Krishna exhibited Vishwarupa and Kala Rupa, Arjuna said, Krishna, you have exhibited this Rupa, I have joked with you, I pulled your legs, I did so many things in our intimate dealings, so please forgive me, please forgive me. He says sorry. You remember in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says sorry to Krishna. Of course, Krishna did not like that sorry. Krishna liked Arjuna's pulling of legs and all his jovial conversations more. If a pure devotee forgets Krishna's godhood and becomes more intimate with Krishna, then Krishna likes it. Right? Because he doesn't like reverence as much as he loves loving dealings. So anyways, here Bhishma is saying, Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman. Adyo Narayana Puman. He is Adi of Narayana also. Right? So he is not only Bhagavan. Many people can be called Bhagavan. What kind of Bhagavan? Indra is Bhagavan, Chandra is Bhagavan. Narada Muni is sometimes called Bhagavan. Brahma is Bhagavan, Shiva is Bhagavan. So many Bhagavans are there. But this Bhagavan is special. Adyo Narayana Puman. He is the Adi of Narayana also. So he is non-different from Narayana. This Krishna. Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman. And Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Godhascharati Vrishnisu. Mohayan means he is bewildering this Lokam, this common people, by wandering as a Vrishni. He appeared in the Vrishni dynasty. He is introducing himself to people in this world as a member of Vrishni dynasty, and that's how he is bewildering the minds of people. And sometimes the Yadus, the Vrishnis, also feel that he's one amongst us. Where did moon took birth from ocean. And fishes also live in ocean. During Samudra Manthan, moon appeared, right? So moon took birth from ocean, and fishes also live in the ocean. So sometimes fishes think that moon and we are same. Where is moon and where is the fish? Moon is there and fish is here. Similarly, where are Yadus and where is Krishna? Sometimes Yadus think that Krishna is one amongst themselves, right? So Mohayan Maya Lokam, it is Krishna's Maya. Krishna bewilders people and makes them think that he is ordinary, but he is not ordinary. So please understand this. This is what our dear Bhishma is reminding to Yudhisthira Maharaj. Not that he has forgotten, but through Yudhisthira Maharaj he is reminding to all of us. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedaihi Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam na Vidursura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaihi Stavaihi. Great devatas like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Shiva, all these great devatas come together and glorify Krishna in Divya Stava, transcendental praises. Vedaihi Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha. So Bhagavatam says that all the Vedas and all the Upanishads are glorifying Krishna's glories. They are praising Krishna. Dhyanavasthita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogino. In their dhyanavastha, in their deep meditation, all the yogis are meditating on Krishna actually, nobody else. Right? Yasyantam na vidursura suraganaha devaya tasmai namaha. There is no anta, there is no end to this glorification of Krishna. There is no end to the glories of Krishna. All the devatas and asuras, all these people can never understand the extent of Krishna's glories. That is Krishna. So Bhishma is glorifying Krishna in this way. Bhishma did not stop there. He said in the next shloka, Asyanubhavam Bhagavan. You can recite the 19th shloka. Asyanubhavam Bhagavan वेदगुह्यतमं शिवः देवर्षिर्नारदः साक्षात् भगवान् कपिलो नृप अस्यानुभावं भगवान् वेदगुह्यतमं शिवः देवर्षिर्नारदः साक्षात् भगवान् कपिलो नृप. Bhishma is saying that I am explaining to you, I am describing to you that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but it's not just my description only. So many Mahajans also admit this. Who are the Mahajans we have discussed on the first day? Swayam Bhur Naradaha Shambhu Kamaraha Kapilo Manuhu Prahalado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vaiyasaki Vayam. So we have seen 12 Mahajans. So Bhishma is saying that not only me, many other great personalities are also explaining that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He says, Asyanu Bhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shivaha. Devarshir Naradaha Sakshat. Sakshat Devarshi Narada also said this. Shiva also claimed this. And he says, Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa. Even Kapila Bhagavan also said that Krishna is the original Bhagavan. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna's godhood is acknowledged and praised by so many people. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, we see that Arjuna says, Param Brahma Parandhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devamajam Vibhum. So he said, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Narada, all these people are also acknowledging that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Okay. So next, 20th sloka. Yam manyase matuleyam priyam mitram suhurtamam akaroho sachivam dutam sauhridat atha sarathim. He said, Yan manyase matulayam, you thought that he is your maternal cousin. It was your understanding. You thought that he is your maternal cousin. But please understand, he is the Supreme Lord. Priyam mitram suhurtamam. Priyam means you are thinking that he is a very dear friend of yours. Mitram, your real relative or friend. Suhurtamam. Suhurt is also friend. Of course, there are some finer nuances and the differences of these terminologies. But in short, you only thought that he is your dear companion or friend or family member. You Pandavas, you thought like that. But he is Bhagavan. Please understand that he is Bhagavan. Further he says, Akaroha Sachivam Dutam. You also thought him as Duta, a messenger. You engaged him in this activity of being a messenger. He went with this Shanti message to Duryodhan only to be insulted by him. So by acting as the messenger of Pandavas, Krishna was insulted by this miscreant Duryodhan, Dushyasan and all these people. Can you just imagine what all Krishna can do? He can accept insults from materialistic people as a part of his service to devotees. The other day we were discussing this shloka. Sarathya parishadasevana sakhya dautya virasananugamanastavana pranaman snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha vishnor bhaktim karoti nripatis charanaravindi. Krishna acts as a sarathi. Sevana Sakhya Dautya. Krishna renders so many services as a messenger, as a watchman, as an advisor, as a recipient of Agra Puja, as a chariot driver of Arjuna. Can you just imagine? These are the services that Krishna is rendering to his devotees. All this is Bhakta Vatsalyat of Krishna. Right? So, our Bhishma is speaking to Yudhisthira Maharaj and Pandavas. He is not an ordinary person. He is sitting here very humbly. He tried to convince you. You never heard him. So he brought you to me so that you can hear me. So he is the Supreme Lord directly, he says. Next, 21st sloka. Very beautiful. So far, Bhishma glorified Krishna in various ways. But now, he is expressing or he is describing Krishna's personal qualities. How affectionate is he towards his devotees? He is going to describe. Very beautiful. He says, Sarvatmana samadrisho Sarvatmana samadrisho Hyadvayasya anahankrite Hyadvayasya anahankrite Tatkritam mati vaishamyam Niravadyasya knakvachit Sarvatmana samadrisho. Sarvatmana means Krishna is the super soul of all living beings. He stays as the Paramatma within the hearts of all living entities. Sarvatmana. Samadrisho. Samadrisha means he is equal to everyone. Samadrisho. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyah. Ye bhajinti tu mam bhaktya mayite teshu chapyaham. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to all. Name dveshyosti. I don't hate anyone. Na priyaha. I don't hold anyone specially dear to me. Name dveshyosti na priyaha. But ye bhajinti tu mam bhaktya. If someone specifically worships me, mayite teshu chapyaham. I am there in them, they are there in me. Means I am especially inclined towards my devotees, all them equal to all. What is this? He is equal to all, but his special inclination towards him. It's very clear he is partial. Right? It's very clear that he is partial and he is claiming that he is equal to all, but at the same time in the same shloka, not that he is speaking in another chapter in another shloka, in the same shloka in the second half he says that, but when devotees worship me, I show some special favor to them. How do we reconcile this? A teacher gives the same lecture to all the students in the class. Some students hear very attentively, take notes, complete homework. This little boy, he completed homework. Prabhu, I have completed the homework. What homework? Aho kashtama honyayam yadyuyam dharmanandana. He memorized that shloka. Right? And he came back and he was telling this to me. So some devotees, some students make notes nicely. They learn the lessons nicely. They also ask some extra questions and get some deeper insights from the teacher. They meet the teacher outside the classroom also. So like that, when some students are showing more interest in subject matter, and if the teacher is giving more attention to those students, is it wrong on the part of the teacher? Is it partiality? Teacher is not blocking the ears of any student in the classroom. Class is equal to all. Right? Class is equal to all. But if somebody has extra interest, they're taking extra interest, then special attention is given to them. Similarly, Krishna is equal to everyone. In what form? As Paramatma. Even if the living entity commits abominable activities and sinful activities and becomes a non-human entity also, or a snake or a scorpion also, Krishna continues to stay in their hearts as super soul. In that sense, Krishna is equal to everyone. He is equal to all. Anybody. Krishna stays within their hearts of every single living entity. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishto mattaha smritirjnanam apohanam cha. Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. So he stays within the hearts of all living entities. However, if somebody is especially dependent on the Lord, has special devotion for the Lord gives special attention to them. It's not wrong. So sarvatmanaha samadrisha. He advayasya anahankrite. Advayasya, there is no second. So Krishna is one and only one. There is no replica for Krishna. That's why he is called Advaya. Anahankrite, he has no ahankar. He has absolutely no false ego. Because Krishna does not have false ego, we need to give up our false ego to make a relationship with him. As long as we have false ego, forget about making connection with Krishna. Not possible. Sambandha is established when aham is destroyed. Right? You want to establish sambandha with Krishna, keep aside your ahankar. Not keep aside, destroy it, give it up, relinquish it, renounce it. In fact, that is the only property we have, by the way. Prabhupada says, in the third canto of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says, just because somebody gives up a big palace and enters the forest, you cannot call him a renunciant. Because palace doesn't belong to him, Forest also doesn't belong to him. He just changed his GPS location. He just changed his care of address. That does not mean he is a renunciant. What belongs to him? False ego belongs to him. If one gives up false ego, then he is called a renunciant. Who is a true renunciant? One who has no false ego. Anahankrite. Yattad vishuddhanubhavamatramekam swatejasa dhvasta gunavyavastham pratyak prashantam sudhiyopalambhanam hyanama rupam niraham prapadye. Hanumanji says this shloka. Very beautiful shloka. Hanumanji speaks in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yattad vishuddhanubhavamatramekam. Vishuddha anubhavamatramekam means those who have pure consciousness can only experience Krishna or Ram. Swatejasa dhvasta gunavyavastham. By the Lord's powers, he can completely destroy this gunavyavastha. What is vyavastha? Arrangement. Who made this arrangement? Guna. The 3 gunas, sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun. So these 3 gunas together created a big vyavastha here in this material world. This entire material world is an arrangement made by the gunas. Swatejasa dhvasta gunavyavastham. By his own potency, the Supreme Lord can destroy this arrangement made by the 3 material modes and release us from these 3 material modes. Pratyak prashantam sudhiyopalambhanam hyanama rupam niraham prapadye. That Lord who does not have a material name or material form is the object of my worship. Niraham prapadye. Giving up my aham, false ego, I take his shelter. This is what Hanumanji says to Lord Ramachandra. So the Lord is anahankrite. For us to take shelter of the Lord, we should give up our ahankar. He continues. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu. Pashya bhupanukampitam. Pashya bhupanukampitam. Yanme sumschajatah sakshat. Krishna darshanamagataha. Krishna darshanamagataha. Please say this. He is becoming more and more personal now. Krishna's glories are described in the last 3-4 shlokas by Bhishma Dev. Now he says, Tathapi, still, although Krishna is so glorious, ekanta bhakteshu, how much attention he gives to ekanta bhaktas. Ekanta bhakta means a devotee who has one-pointed devotion to Krishna. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu pashya bhupanukampitam. Oh Bhupa. Bhupa means one who rules earth. Bhu means bhumi, pa means one who does palan. So Bhupa means a king who rules this earth. Oh my dear king, Yudhisthira Maharaj, look at the mercy of Krishna. Pashya bhupanukampitam. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu pashya bhupanukampitam. Look at the unparalleled, unflinching mercy, anukampa of Krishna upon someone who is an ekanta bhakta. Bhishma is considering himself ekanta bhakta, which he is. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu pashya bhupanukampitam yanme asums tyajataha sakshat. At this critical time, crucial time where I am giving up my asu. Asu means life. I am about to give up my life. When I am about to give up my life, he has come here. Krishna darshanamagataha. Krishna has personally come at the time of my departure. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Antakale cha mameva. At the time of death, if someone remembers me and gives up his body, this body, they will definitely reach Krishna. Krishna promised it. Now here is Bhishma, who is about to depart from this world, and Krishna personally came there. It's not that Bhishma is doing some smaran alone. Krishna personally came to give him darshan. Krishna darshanam agataha. He has come. Many people think that, please hear this very carefully. Many people think that Bhishma has been waiting for the auspicious time of Uttarayan to give up his body. Because he had this Ichha Mrityu Varadan, He can give up his body whenever he wants. And he has been waiting for Uttarayana time to come so that he can give up his body. Even Bhagavatam also says that. This auspicious Uttarayana time came and Bhishma prepared himself to leave this body. But Bhishma was not waiting for Uttarayana time, by the way. In the same chapter from which we have quoted this shloka, we quoted this shloka, right? What is that? Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalayoram. Which chapter is this? 8th chapter. Towards the end of 8th chapter, Krishna spoke. What will happen if somebody leaves the body in Uttarayana? What will happen if somebody leaves the body in Dakshinayana? Clear? Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, all this he spoke. But after completing all this analysis, Krishna said, for a devotee, whether it is Uttarayana or Dakshinayana, it doesn't matter. And Bhishma is not just a devotee, he is a Mahajan. Why would he wait for Uttarayana? He was not waiting for Uttarayana. He was not waiting for Uttarayana Kala. He is waiting for Uttarayana, who is also called Krishna, or Krishna, who is also called Uttarayana. Why is Krishna called Uttarayana? Uttara is mother, Uttara, who is the wife of Abhimanyu and mother of Parikshit Maharaj. Ayana means shelter. Krishna is also called Uttarayana because he has given shelter to Mother Uttara and he has taken shelter of Mother Uttara. When Uttara came to Krishna, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Na Anyam Tadabhayam Pashe Jatra Murtiho Parasparam. When she came with this prayer, Krishna entered into her womb and taken her shelter. Isn't it? He took the shelter of Mother Uttara's womb. Or he has given shelter to Mother Uttara when he asked for shelter. Therefore, Krishna is called Uttarayana and Bhishma is waiting for this Uttarayana, not the Uttarayana Kala. He says, Krishno darshanamagataha tathapi ekanta bhakteshu pasya bhupanukampitam. Oh my dear Yudhisthira Maharaj, look at the unparalleled mercy of Krishna. Pasya bhupa anukampitam. Look at this mercy of Krishna. Knowing that his dear devotee Ekanta Bhakta is giving up his body, Krishna has come here to give him darshan. How merciful Krishna is. Bhishma is expressing his profound gratitude to Krishna. Right? Who is an Ekanta Bhakta? Gajendra says. You can recite this shloka once again. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu So, who is an Ekanta Bhakta? Tathapi Ekanta Bhakteshu. Gajendra defines who is an Ekanta Bhakta. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti yevai bhagavat prapannaha atyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudra magnaha. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham. If you are an Ekanta Bhakta, you have no other material desire. Na kanchanartham vanchanti. That's the first quality. Having no material desire is the first quality of an Ekanta Bhakta. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti yevai bhagavat prapanna. The devotees are, Ekanta Bhaktas are Bhagavat prapanna. They have completely taken shelter of Bhagavan. Atyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudra magna. These Ekanta Bhaktas are constantly immersed in singing the glories of Krishna. They're immersed in an ocean of happiness. And where does that happiness come from? By exclusively singing the glories of the Lord. So, just going little, going beyond Bhagavatam, going to Vrindavana Mahimamrita, just one shloka just comes to my mind. It says, if we go to Vrindavan Dham, you will get this Ekanta Bhakti, this special exclusive devotion to Krishna you can get in Vrindavan Dham. Sri Krishna Ekanta Bhavam Kvanu Sakala Jano Vasyama Pnotya Yatnat Krishnasyascharya Sima Parama Bhagavatah Kutra Leelarthamurtihi Kutratya Krishna Padam Bhuja Bhajana Mahananda Samrajya Kashta Bhratar Vakshye Rahasyam Srunu Sakalamidam Srila Vrindavanetram. So, Sri Krishna Ekanta Bhavam. This Ekanta Bhava means one and only Krishna, no one else. This one-pointed devotion to Krishna is available in Vrindavan Dham. If you take shelter of Vrindavan Dham, then we'll get this mood of exclusive devotion towards Krishna. Right? So, anyways, coming back to Bhishma. Tathapi Ekanta Bhakteshu Pasya Bhupanukampitam. See, the Lord is so merciful. Oh, Yudhisthira Maharaj, look at how merciful the Lord is. He has come here to give me his darshan just before I depart from this world. He's extremely merciful. And giving up the shelter of that merciful Krishna, where else do we take shelter? Is there anyone else who is capable of giving shelter as much as Krishna does? Yesterday, we were discussing one shloka from Kulashekar Alvar's Mukundamala Stotra. Krishno Rakshatuno Jagatraya Guru Krishnam Navadhvam Sada. And that same Kulashekar Alvar, in the same book Mukundamala Stotra, he says, Nathe naha purushottame trijagatam ekadhipe chetasa sevye swasya padasya datari pare narayane tishtati Yam kanchit purushadhamam katipaya grameshamalparthadam sevayai mrugaya mahena ramaho mudhavarakavayam Nathenaha purushottame trijagatam ekadhipe chetasa. That Supreme Lord Krishna is the Natha, is the proprietor, is the master of all the three worlds. Nathenaha purushottame trijagatam ekadhipe chetasa. Eka adhipe chetasa sevye. He is one and only master, and even if you serve that master Krishna, even in your mind, chetasa sevye. Swasya padasya data ripare narayane tishtati. If you offer service to Krishna, service to Narayana, service to Vishnu, even in your mind, you know what will he give? He will give you a position in the spiritual world. Narayane tishtati, the place where Narayana is personally staying, he will take you there. And even if your service is in your imagination, in your own mind, you know that devotee who does some imaginary worship in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the nectar of devotion, one devotee imagines that he is offering Ganga Jal and all auspicious waters from all the holy rivers and Abhishek, dresses, ornaments, sweet rice. He wanted to offer. So one day he was offering sweet rice in his imagination, and he wanted to see whether the sweet rice is hot or cold. He touched the sweet rice and the hand got burnt. He cooked the sweet rice in imagination. He touched the sweet rice in imagination, but his hand is actually burnt. Then immediately Vaikuntha airplane came there to take him to Vaikuntha. Not imagination, reality. His service was in imagination, but his position in Vaikuntha was reality. The Lord has actually given him a position. Sevye swasya padasya data ripare narayane tishtati yam kanchit purushadhamam katipaya grameshamalparthadam sevayai mrugaya mahena ramaho mudhavarakavayam. Giving up this Purushottama, people in this world serve Purushadhamas. Purushottama is best of all men. Purushadhama means worst of all men. Gramesham alparthadam. These Purushadhamas are like Gramesha. Sometimes they may be wealthy landlords. Alparthadam, for a meager amount of salary, they go and then serve them, thinking that they are the masters, ignoring the original master, Krishna. How merciful is this master? A devotee in Ekanta Bhakta is giving up his body. He has personally come here to establish his glory. To tell the whole world how glorious Bhishma Dev is. Krishna has personally come and taking a low profile, sitting in the class of Bhishma Dev. Bhishma is giving lecture. Sloka after sloka he is quoting. Krishna is sitting and hearing. No dialogues for Krishna in this scene. No hero will accept for this role. When you are Going to some hero to book him for a movie, he says, what are my dialogues? How much screen space do I have? You don't have anything to do. All other characters will take care. You are hero, but other characters will do the needful. All screen space is given to them. In any scene, they will have more dialogues. You have to just give expressions. That's all. Will any hero sign up for that? Can he be called as hero? But here is the hero who makes his devotees heroes. That's why he's hero. Supreme hero, Krishna. Right? So Bhishma glorified the Lord like this and thanked him. Then further, in the 23rd shloka, it's mentioned, Bhaktya Veshya Mano Yasmin Vacha Yannama Kirtayan Tyajan Kalevaram Yogi Muchyate Kama Karma Bhihim Bhaktya Veshya Mano Yasmin. Mind has to be absorbed in bhakti. Bhakti aveshya mano. Your mind is totally overwhelmed or overpowered by devotional emotions. Bhakti aveshya mano yasmin vacha yan nama kirtayan. Mind is absorbed in a devotional mood, a devotional attitude, and vacha, words are completely dedicated to nama kirtan, just glorifying the Lord's nama. Vacha yan nama kirtayan. Then tyajan kalevaram yogi. In this mood, where you absorb your mind in Krishna's thoughts, words in chanting Krishna's names, then in such a mood, if you give up your body, Tyajan Kalevaram Yogi, you know what happens? Muchyate Kama Karma Bhi. Your Kama is destroyed, Karma is destroyed, Klesha is destroyed. You are there at the lotus feet of Krishna. This is the way of giving up life. And this is what our dear Bhishma is saying. Now my plan is to give up my body in a devotional meditation. What's the time now? 8:30? 8:35. There are some very beautiful and important shlokas to cover, but we will do it tomorrow. I think this is a very good conclusion for today's class. So tomorrow we will see few more meditations of Bhishma, and we'll very briefly discuss what he taught Yudhisthira Maharaj. In Bhagavatam it doesn't mention so much, but we'll just go through the contents table. Then we'll start actual Bhishma Stuti, Iti Matirupal Kalpita with Krishna. So with this, I'll conclude. Basically today we have seen how Bhishma consoled and counseled Yudhisthira Maharaj, and how Bhishma described the glories of Lord Krishna to Yudhisthira Maharaj. And he felt an overwhelming feeling of gratitude towards Krishna for being personally present at the time of his departure. So these are some highlights of today's discussion. I'll conclude here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.